Now let's go behind the rock screen.
You're welcome to come on in. We'll bring out the moonshine and start telling lies and calling up the women. But no talk about racing. Come on.
Hey everybody, this is Josh here with the Dirt Court Jesters Podcast, joined by the driver of the Brooking Motorsports 15B Outlaw Court from Pennsylvania, now residing in Lima, Ohio, Jayden Brooking. Jayden, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, Josh.
So real easy right here off the bat. How did you get started in racing?
I kind of grew up around racing. Eastern Pennsylvania, a lot of sprint cars, micro sprints, kind of grew up going there. Knew I was into it. So 2018, my dad bought me a Champ Kart. Started racing around a couple tracks around there, got some seat time. And then 2020, I moved up into the Outlaw Kart, just an intermediate, 250 motor. And then a couple of years ago, I moved up into the Opens, and I've been running that ever since.
So we've been talking to champions lately, and you decided to go ahead and bring 3 championships to the table. 2025 Dirt Track at Fremont Senior Wing Points Champion, Cridersville Speedway, Ohio Winged Outlaw Champion, and the Ohio Winged Outlaw Series Champion. So not short on hardware in 2025. Talk about those championships for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the goal coming into the season. 2023, I won points championship in Pennsylvania with the PA Wings. Probably should have had a few more. There's, a couple of short, kind of odd scenarios there. So always kind of been wanting to get some more. And last year was definitely a hard learning year for me with racing out at school, new tracks. I'm going to school. Big difference, So I guess just the goal coming into this season was to win as much and come home with some championships. And fortunately, that's what we were able to do.
Yeah, so in 2025, you had 17 races, 3 feature wins, 16 podiums, 0 DNFs. That's a pretty solid season, and that's going to help you capture some championships.
Yeah. Fighting mechanical gremlins, like that was our big goal too. I mean, there's, we both know there's a lot in racing where it's kind of out of your control. So just by making sure, we had a good car every week, made sure it stayed together till the end. That was one of our big goals that I would say really helped us secure championships this year.
So why don't you go ahead and recap for us, if you will, just a little bit more detail to your 2025 season and those 17 races that you ran. I know you started running in May and wrapped it up there at the end of October. So give us a little rundown of your 2025 season.
Yeah, I would say really the season kind of started at the end of last year, where I was kind of starting to figure stuff out. We were really finding some speed in the car. And last race of the year had a fast car, was out front, and had some mechanical gremlins. Motor kind of quit on us, but we were already halfway there. We just had some stuff come up, and then we kind of kept that speed rolling into this year. Made sure everything was ironed out mechanically, and started off the season pretty good. A lot of second and third place finishes. Just kind of, we were there, but we were just a little bit short. Right behind the leader coming across the line. Just, we were there. And then I would say probably towards the middle of the year, we kind of picked up some things and had some good speed. Got out front and started winning a couple of races, and then just kind of finished strong towards the end of the year. Kept up on the speed and stayed out of trouble. That was a big thing, and just had a strong finish to the year, and it just helped kind of seal everything up.
Quite a few races of your season were at Cridersville, and really strong finishes there. I mean, if you weren't winning races, you were finishing in the top 5. What can you tell me about that track?
It's definitely a interesting track. It's 20 minutes from my house in Lima here, so that kind of made it convenient to run there. Made sense to run there. It's kind of, as far as like Pennsylvania tracks go, I would kind of relate it to Snydersville, where it's kind of longer straightaways. Track's a little bit narrow, and then the corners are a bit tight. I will say 3 and 4 is definitely a lot tighter than 1 and 2. 1 and 2 kind of sweeps a little bit. But overall, it's a really fun track. I feel like to run on.
Out of all the tracks this year, is there one? Maybe it's Cridersville, but is there one that you preferred over the other?
I got comfortable at Cridersville. We ran a lot of races there with the points races there. I would say probably my favorite track this year. So we didn't have a whole lot of races there, but probably Fremont Raceway Park. Just a little bit of on the bigger side of the tracks we run on, where it's pretty racy. You can kind of carry a lot of speed through the corners. I say that's probably the most fun track I've raced at this year.
I think you ran Fremont there twice. Actually, it looks like 3 times. So June 28th, July 12th, and July 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And third on the 28th, and then you had 2 wins on the 12th and the 13th.
Yeah. We were missing a couple things on the first race there. We knew what changes we should have made after the fact. And then we went ahead and made those changes for the 2-day show, because it's a Saturday-Sunday show. We made the changes for that, and we were pretty lights out quick on the Saturday night race, and then just kind of kept the speed rolling into Sunday. And
you sent me a video of you avoiding an accident, and you said that was at Cridersville. So can you kind of talk about what was going on there?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I was coming down the backstretch there, and the guy in front of me, I kind of seen he was, hanging it out a bit. But it's kind of one of them things where it's like, do you keep following them? Are they going to mess up? But once I knew that he wasn't going to be able to save the car, just kind of got hard on the brakes, turned up the track, made sure I grabbed the clutch, keep the engine running. We made a little bit of contact there, nothing major, just minor damage, a little bit to the wing. I think it might have hit the left rear tire on my end. And then, touching them there just kind of turned me back straight and was able to rev it up, drop the clutch, and keep on going.
Yeah, definitely an awesome save there. So, we're here in December in Ohio. Not a whole lot of racing going on around here. They're going to be at the Dome. That's actually starting tonight. But what does your 2026 plans look like?
2026 is kind of up in the air a little bit. I would kind of like to get into a D2 midget. I think as far as what they are, there's a lot of value there. They seem to have a strong series going, and the cars don't seem too bad to get. I do have all my Outlaw kart stuff up for sale at the moment. Just kind of make some room and kind of get some options open for next year.
Okay. Well, so everybody, you hear that here. There's Outlaw karts for sale, and I know somebody who's looking for a D2 midget as well. So a lot of moving to be going on there. And you kind of touch on the D2 midgets, and especially in our area, the USAC Midwest Thunder Midget Series. Greg and Chuck, what they're doing with that series, I think is awesome. Making it affordable for guys to race and really putting on good shows. And their schedule the last couple of years, and I'm sure coming up in 2026, I've always been impressed here recently with their schedule and the tracks that they get to put those cars on. Have you been able to catch some of those races? And if so, what do you think about them?
I didn't get to see a whole lot. I didn't get to spectate a whole lot of races this year just with my own racing. I did get to see them race at Waynesfield Raceway. I thought they put on a good show. Like I said, as far as like the price on the car and the value, I think there's a lot of value there. Good car counts, but yeah, I think it's a really good series what they're doing there.
So you've kind of touched on it. Obviously, you're looking to move up into sprint cars, and what do you see yourself doing in the future? We'll talk about it here in a little bit as far as what you're doing in school, but as far as racing is concerned, what does that look like for Jayden Brooking?
It's kind of hard to say. I'd really like to race a lot more. I feel like there's a lot of drivers that they love nothing more than to race full time. I think the big thing for me would just be running a big car, getting lap time, or seat time, I guess, and running, some kind of full size, whether it's open wheel, door cars. I mean, I'd be pretty happy racing anything. It just kind of, the big factor on that is having the money to afford to race it competitively.
Yeah, no doubt. And you touched on the D2 midget, which they've formed that series mostly to make racing affordable. I know the dirt track truck series, that they're kind of under a similar pattern where they wanted to be racing affordable for guys to get out there and do it. Is this something, jumping into a sprint car, you wouldn't mind if it had fenders on it, but is this a progress that you see for yourself as far as a driver that you want to continue to kind of try to take a step up every couple years? And how far up are you talking? I mean, is this something that you would like to continue to go until you're running a 410 sprint or a super late model, or even in pavement? Is there really like an end goal that you have in mind?
I can't really set like a fixed end goal because I feel like the information kind of changes, as I go along. Um, like I said, I have a lot of seat time in the karts and stuff. I've driven a stock car before, driven a modified before, and it's just one of the things where it's like getting up into something that's more powerful, more weight, just to kind of test myself and see what I can do in a full size car. I feel like the next step would probably be like a D2 midget, and then depending how I go there, I'd love nothing more than to have the funding available and find out I can hang on to it, and just keep going up as high as I can, I guess.
So always looking to move up, and we've kind of touched on it, but you're part of the UNOH Motorsports team. So explain that for those who don't know. I'm sure a lot of people seeing this know what UNOH is. Only school in the entire country that has the high performance motorsports program. But being a part of their motorsports team, what is that?
It's really a brilliant program, is what it is. There's a lot of diversity on the team, so you'll get people like me that grew up around racing, people that race their own cars and know a lot of stuff. You also get a lot of people that have zero experience, never been to a dirt track, coming on and getting on the team. And I think it's a great learning experience for everybody. Not only do you get to see the at the track stuff, but you also get to do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, whether it's stuff around the shop, stuff on the haulers, obviously maintenance and repairs on the cars. It's just really great program for people to get hands on and learn firsthand about racing.
Were you on the team last year then when they went down to Florida to start the season? Is that right?
I was, yep.
So how was that experience?
That was a really cool experience, I will say. And I feel like that kind of set a hook for me as far as wanting to get more into racing, because down there, we went down, I forget how many nights, but it was like 2 weeks of racing we were down there. And, it was just cool because you're either at the track, working on the car or racing, and then outside of that, it's not like you have work, not like you have anything else to do. So you go out with people on the team, have some fun down in Volusia there. And I don't know, it's just really, really cool experience. And I feel like it's a bit of a taste of what it would be like going on the road with the team. But definitely, something I would kind of like to do.
Yeah, the motorsports team is pretty unique in that they treat that as a another sports team, whether it be football or basketball or baseball, whatever the case may be. UNOH treats their motorsports team just like a basketball team or a football team. That's pretty cool. And I also like that you said there's a lot of diversity there where, there might be kids that are getting ready to wrap up high school and are interested in it, but maybe they don't have the experience. But that doesn't sound like a concern, that really the educators there and the teachers are good about grabbing a hold of everybody and making sure, whether you've been involved and you've been wrenching yourself or you're just now getting the bug and trying to figure things out. It sounds like that the teaching there is top notch when it comes to motorsports.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially on the team too, that's, everything on the team is student ran. The only thing we don't do is drive the haulers to the track. But, it's just a really good environment. I feel like everybody there is always willing to help each other, help each other learn. It's just a really great environment. I think a good learning experience for anybody out there.
So to touch on a little bit more before we wrap it up, specifically about what is your role being on the motorsports team? What do? You guys run a lot locally, obviously, especially at Lima Land, where UNOH is owner of the track. So, what kind of role do you have on the motorsports team?
So on the team, I'm currently the head fabricator. So anything, welding, cutting stuff, making pieces and parts, that's kind of my specialty there.
So that could make Saturday mornings pretty busy.
It can, yeah. Depends how Friday night goes. But yeah, it does make for busy Saturdays occasionally.
Very cool, very cool. So you kind of talked about that you grew up around racing, and I know, we talked at the beginning about how you got started specifically in racing, but how has your family been involved? Because a lot of times when we see this, like somebody down the line has gotten involved in racing, whether it's they're working on a car or they're just going to the track as a fan or even driving. But how did your family get started, and how did that kind of set the hook for you?
Well, my dad raced flat cart for a number of years. He's kind of in that. Ran some races in a 270 micro at Greenwood Valley. My uncle also raced 270s at Greenwood for a little bit of time, but I can't really say there was much of a lengthy background there. As far as racing wise, my dad and his parents were involved in racing for a long time. They did a lot at the Williamsburg Fair and stuff too there when they had races and demo derbies there.
Okay.
So I guess that kind of got me roped into everything. And
just one of those things that we all go through is where if whoever it may be, your dad or your grandpa or whoever's, they find themselves at the track, then you find yourself at the track, and then you love being at the track, and it's just something that continues as you get older.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take much to get hooked on it.
That's right. That's right. So do you have a favorite track, both as a fan and as a driver? It could be kart related. It can be bigger dirt cars. It could be pavement. It's completely up to you. Favorite track as a fan and for you as a driver?
I would say favorite track for me would probably be Shellhammer Dirt Track. I've run there a lot, a lot of races there. But just the way you can kind of carry speed around there and get the car wound up, it's just really exciting as a driver, I feel like. As far as watching races, it's kind of a tough one. There's a lot of good tracks out there. I've never had a bad time at Eldora. That's always been a good show. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else would be a good track to watch at.
So when you were growing up, did you have an opportunity to get to, I don't know, Williams Grove or Port Royal or any of those tracks on the eastern side of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I've been to just about all of them. Port Royal, the Grove, Sealands Grove, Path Valley, pretty much most of the tracks in Pennsylvania I've been to. Oswego, when they put the dirt on Oswego for the big block modifieds, Super Dirt Week, that was a good show. I was up there.
Do you have a bucket list track? Either it could be as a fan and it could be as a driver. Do you have a bucket list track that you'd love to go watch a race at and that you'd love to go race a car?
If I had to pick a track, I would probably say Kokomo. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get there this year. I just kind of got busy racing and everything, but I'd like to watch some races there, some wingless sprints, some midgets. Also wouldn't mind driving around there. Just looks like a fun place.
Nice. Great pick there. So we talked about your 2025 season, what you're hoping to do moving into 2026. You're busy with that. You're busy with school. We talked about some tracks that you'd like to check out. Now it's time for some lightning round questions. I've got 10 questions for you. Try to give me answers as quickly as you can. This gives us a chance to learn a little bit more about Jayden Brooking. First question, and usually I ask guys the celebrity crush growing up, but you're still kind of doing the growing up. So I'll say, do you have a celebrity crush?
I would say so. Personally, I would go with Sabrina Carpenter. Just great music, great taste. kind of hard to hate her.
I think you're the third or fourth person that's given that answer. So obviously there is something behind that. Do you have a favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon? Definitely SpongeBob. Let's go to.
Right. Do you have a favorite pro wrestler?
Probably not. Not really big into like WWE wrestling.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. Favorite song?
Favorite song? I would probably say. I don't know if I could pick just one. I would say Creed is my favorite artist. We'll go with that.
All
Him
right.
and Clay, great album.
Are they going back on tour this year? Did I see something about that?
Yeah, they were actually towards the end of August. They were on tour down in Cincinnati. So that's kind of an early birthday present for me. Me and my dad went down there and got to see them play along with Daughtry and Mammoth.
Oh man, nice. Listen, Creed was that was like late high school, early college for me when they first came out, and I mean I still love Creed today. Like I could still pop it on, and that's an awesome birthday present there to check out Creed live and in person. Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Probably Talladega Nights.
All right. Now, I asked this question, and most of the time it's difficult to get an answer because we all know racers don't usually get vacation. But do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Vacation is kind of tough. Usually for me, vacations are kind of racecations. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one.
All right.
I'd say as far as like a
place?
racing vacation down in
Yeah.
Florida, Volusia, that was, it's a lot of work, but it's different work,
Awesome. Something very few people would know about you.
I don't know if this would be something few people would know, but I did wrestle for a year. My senior year of high school, I was, never done a sport, so I was like, well, it was fall time. Sign-ups were open, had some friends on the team, and decided to go for it.
All right. So what did you think you did? So you wrestled your senior year in high school.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It was a great learning experience. Wasn't necessarily a great wrestler, but, first year, kind of a lot to learn. But yeah, it was good. I say I learned a lot on and off the mat too. There's it's a big mental aspect too.
Sure.
Just kind of the thought process there, but
Very cool. If you could own one car, you come home, you hit the garage door opener, and the classic car that you love is parked in the garage. One car, what would it be?
I'd probably have to go with the 69 Camaro. That'd be my go-to.
All right. Specific color?
I'd probably have to go with either red or black.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Do you have a go-to meal?
Go-to meal? As far as like cooking or ordering? Depends.
Either way. Actually, you know what? Give me both.
All right. Ordering, I would definitely say wings. Buffalo wings are the way to go. As far as cooking, probably steaks. Cook a lot of steaks.
Okay. Funny story that you can share either when you were at the track, at the shop working on the car, or traveling from the track. A funny story you got to tell the fans here about Jayden Brooking.
So there was this one race this year. I don't know if it's really a funny story, but it's kind of funny now. I won't say which track, but we were at the drivers' meeting. Everybody was hard set. All the workers were hard set that we were racing that night. Back behind the drivers' meeting was thunderstorms and wind and rain and nothing good for racing. But they said they were getting the show in and waiting until they were ready to race, basically. Didn't even get back to the trailer from the drivers' meeting. Complete downpour. Everything got soaked. So it was we set a record loading up the trailer. Sat in the trailer, hunkered down for a couple minutes, and they came over to the PA. Yeah, we're calling it for tonight. So
Yeah, the weather wins another one. Yeah, it's unfortunate when you're like, oh, we're racing, and you're like looking at behind the trailer and like, there ain't no way we're racing. But
Yeah, we did pretty good this year on rainouts. We only
yeah,
had, I think it was probably 2 or 3 for us. So pretty good year weather-wise.
well, very awesome. So before we wrap it up, where can everybody follow you on social media? And do you have any merchandise available?
So I have T-shirts and hats available. I do have a Square site, Brooking Motorsports. All my merch is available on there. We can ship stuff pretty much anywhere in the United States. I also have Brooking Motorsports on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And then I do have a YouTube channel that I post some in-car videos to.
Very cool. Very cool. Last but not least, sponsors you would like to thank.
I got a lot of sponsors that helped me out this year. We got Bully Brand. They have great camera mounts, cool stuff there. Hardy Brothers Trucking, Oilways Rolling, D's Home and Office, Chop House Race Products. They make some good titanium stuff. And then Hardy Brothers Trucking, I'd say.
Well,
So,
Jayden Brooking, that is awesome for you to share that with us. You're the 2025 Dirt Track at Fremont Senior Wing Point Champion, the 2025 Cridersville Speedway Ohio Winged Outlaw Champion, and the 2025 Ohio Winged Outlaw Series Champion. 3 big trophies taken home after 2025. I know the cart's up and you're looking to move up into the midget. Best of luck to you moving into 2026, and thanks for coming on.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys, this is Josh with the Dirt Court Jesters Podcast, and we hope to see you at the track.